Hello everyone, I'm Ruthann.
And Chris.
And we all Geek Chic Promotions. Welcome back to Nerd Rage. Huzzah!
Right.
We're drinking a little vodka soda treat, so cheers to you.
Cheers.
To you guys.
This is one can, by the way, split between the two of us, and it's aggressive.
Yeah, this is one of those from Trader Joe's has their own like White Claw basically, but it's alright.
Yeah, actually it is.
Yeah, it actually tastes like Myers Lemon.
It tastes like a vodka soda.
Yeah, well done. So, guys, what a crazy week we've had. I'm gonna try to share this. Oh, it won't let me share. But then fine, then I won't share it around. It's been a crazy week, and since we work in the convention world and work with companies that are in the convention world, we have a lot to talk about.
We do.
I mean, we can even start off with the fact that because of this coronavirus, the first thing that got canceled and moved was the opening of the new James Bond movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, and here's the thing, like, what I'm seeing and what I am not crazy about is, like, how people are blaming other people.
Yes.
And I don't understand that because none of this is anybody's fault. Like, it's kind of crazy because if people want to take steps to protect themselves, you know, like, if they have a compromised immune system or if they just don't feel like getting sick.
Yeah.
And they can choose not to go somewhere, you know, that's absolutely their right. I don't like other people bullying people though, like, which is kind of crazy, and being like, you're the reason why, you know, shows are canceling.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you didn't want to go and you refunded your ticket simply because someone doesn't want to go.
Or like a company, like what Chris was saying earlier, is that when a company pulls out of something like this, it's not because they're worried that fans won't come. It's they have a huge company and they have employees that they're not going to force to go somewhere if they're gonna get sick. I mean, like...
And that goes for everyone. That goes for showrunners who have con staff.
Yeah.
That goes for, you know, any company that has an HR department. Literally, it's an HR nightmare if someone gets sick on their dime. Which, being at a con is on that company's dime.
Oh, yeah. And we all know, even in the best of circumstances...
Right?
Conventions are a petri dish of disgustingness. I mean,
who all has gotten con crud?
Nearly every
been
con.
Sick for a week afterwards.
Nearly every con.
Yeah.
I always get like con crud.
And it's been
awful.
A rough sick too. It's not even just like, I caught a cold. It's like you are down for the count. Yeah.
There's like 3 times that I've gotten both pneumonia and strep throat at the same time from a convention.
Yep. And here's the thing, like, people are like, here's what's annoying. I actually unfriended somebody over this.
Oh, snap.
I did, and I don't do that often.
She does not.
I don't. Essentially, some guy was basic, and this is like a guy I actually knew, like, in person, not like just a Facebook friend.
Yeah.
But he was promoting that the media is just hyping this up to scare you and all this other stuff, and if you really wanted to protect yourself, all you really had to do was boost your immune system by doing a juice cleanse and a fast.
That's gonna make your immune system worse.
Now,
you dick.
I literally had to unfriend him after that because first of all, you know, I was stupid and I posted on it because I'm like, it's...
Well, how dare you, Chris?
Fast.
How
fast was I reminded that this is the internet? Which, that's why I'm like, usually I don't engage. But I was like, this is ridiculous because first of all, people are also saying like, oh, it's only a 2% rate of people that... I'm like, yeah, but 2%'s a lot when you're talking about millions of people. And also, don't dismiss the elderly or the young babies that could catch this and get it. Like, that's our parents, that's our grandparents, that's our kids. Like, oh my gosh, like the absolute carelessness of like, oh, the chances of you getting it are really super low. It doesn't matter. A chance is a chance. And if you have kids and parents...
By the end of this whole, plague, basically, you will know somebody who got it. You will know somebody who's died of it. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to be like that person to set the fire, but that's the end-all, be-all of the situation.
I'm not one of those hysterical people.
No,
and
I'm not hysterical.
Believing,
yeah.
Like, the media is, like...
Absolutely, it's overhyping it. Yeah.
It's overhyping it, and would I still go to a convention right now? Yeah, you know, I probably would, because I don't live or take care of my parents, and I don't have children. So it's all on me.
Yeah.
I'm like, sure, yeah,
and I'm a responsible adult where I wash my hands. I don't
sure.
touch my face every 3.2 seconds.
Right?
Did you see?
Yes.
Everybody turns to a gift like, do not touch your hands or face. turn page.
We've all seen that.
And now there is.
Also, there's the
hey,
one that.
Rod. Hey, buddy.
There was the hilarious meme of like, of Talladega Nights where Will Ferrell doesn't know what to do with his hands, and he just goes like this. And then like someone reaches in and just like goes like that with him.
Like, just
like that's how I feel. It's like I'm about to touch my face.
Don't do it. Yeah. And there's, I don't know if you saw the other article that I'm just shocked at how stupid people are. But I mean, not shocked. We are also talking about the anti-vaxxers and the flat earthers. But they've decided, the Trump supporters have decided that the coronavirus is fake and it's not real. And it's just to scare people into becoming liberals. Literally, if you read it, that's what they think.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
good,
very
good
creative.
job, guys. You guys go enjoy. There's no coronavirus. Go on, go on with your bad selves. Enjoy.
I think, like, right before we logged onto this, I was like ranting at Ruth Ann because this annoys me so much. But I'm one of those.
Yeah, that's the
I know,
thing.
she's
So
a
Rod.
doctor.
So that's the funniest thing about the woman who told people not to like touch their face or their mouth or anything. And she was a fucking doctor and the director of public health. Like,
it's pretty crazy. So I was ranting at Ruth Ann like right before we came on here because I work for a large video game company
who's out of Korea.
Right? So our HQ has been like shut down for weeks at this point, where everyone's been quarantined and working from home, and we're expecting, and all travel was blocked, by the way. Like we can't have people going back and forth anymore. That was totally like kibosh. And basically, what's going on is we're going to WonderCon, and we don't sell merch there, like not for profit or anything like that. I think we have merch available, but it's not anything that we consider significant income. What we do is use it as a marketing tool, though. So we have a marketing budget where we spend money to go to these cons, and so our budget is literally just under $1 million every year to go to cons. Okay, now
which is a totally like, I'd made that face, but that's how much money you need for
to go to cons,
and that's only like 2, 3.
It's 3 a year.
It's
3 a year.
That's how much
just under $1 million.
That's how much it costs for companies to go to cons. Like keep that in mind with this whole like
and then we're talking about shipping
and all that
your
kind
booth.
of stuff.
We're talking about Freeman costs. We're talking about labor to put up the booth. We're talking about so much other stuff. So, and essentially we have 15 people that man the booth, and we provide an activation, which is a holographic experience that looks like the video game. You go in there and you do some sort of stuff, and then you win a prize. Okay, so there's small things like enamel pins, all right? So this is what we do at every show, and it's basically to get people to download our game and play it. Yeah. Okay, that's what we do. And we had to take a poll at the end of this week, I guess, and see how many staff were still willing to come to the show, because we can't make anybody do this. Like, even though it's their job, you just can't force people to do something like this.
You can't force them to maybe possibly get a fatal disease.
And out of 15 people that were supposed to man our booth, we're now down to 8. Okay, and none of it was reasons.
So nearly half,
and none of it was for reasons that were out of line. We have a guy who has 6-month-old twins who doesn't want to be bringing anything home to them. We have a guy who takes care of his elderly parents and cannot afford to bring anything home to them. And we have someone who's roommates with someone who has a compromised immune system and who's on medications. They don't want to be bringing anything home to their roommate. And it's all situations like that where, like, if under normal circumstances, if they all lived alone, they'd go to the show.
Yeah.
Like, no big deal. But now, because they have other people to think about, they're like, I better not.
Yeah,
I better play it
depend
safe.
on them. And
I better play it safe. And so we're fine with that. So, but another factor is that all of our merch comes from China, which I know this was like an issue for another company that I saw online.
Yeah. Oh.
I can't remember.
I can't think of it. Yeah.
But like they were having trouble as well. But we ordered it back in December, and now we were supposed to get it, I think, at the beginning of February when all this broke out. But then they had like the New Year, and everything was like delayed by a couple weeks because of the Chinese New Year, which fine, whatever. We still have plenty of time. But now it's been delayed for a month because of the coronavirus, and so we don't know if we're going to get any of our giveaways in time for WonderCon.
Yeah.
So this is what we have to think about.
Yeah.
We have a booth that we're paying $50,000 to ship from Arizona to be set up.
50
grand. Yeah, and that includes Freeman labor, because Freeman is a ripoff and they have to do everything.
You heard it here first, people.
Right?
We all know it.
Seriously. And we're talking about how they weigh your truck when you go in, and then they unload your truck and then weigh your truck again. And the difference is the freight that they're going to charge you for, which is thousands of dollars, okay? There's so many costs involved with going to a convention, it's ridiculous. And so we weigh that against having half the staff that we were going to have and no giveaways. And it comes to, why are we going?
Yeah, like at
We
that
have
point.
we have a panel, we have stuff we're announcing, but also we could probably just do that at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, and I do love the fact that because DC was one of the first companies to say like we're pulling out of Emerald City. No, actually, how they put it, and this is what I love about DC. Like they had to be such a drama queen about it. DC was like, we're pulling out of all of our March conventions. It was only Emerald City Comic Con, and they had 2 panels, no booth. Like that was a little bit much, I have to say. So Rod Kim does say that the biggest silver lining, I guess, for the tech industry is that tech and gaming companies finally letting their introverted programmers and IT folk work from home.
Right.
Like they've been praying for
That's
gods
what's, yeah,
for
that's
decades.
what's been happening to us, yeah.
It is, I do. There's been some really funny memes of just like, oh, so we have to stay home and not go out. I've been planning for this for years.
Yep.
Like, thank you.
And honestly, we're not affected too much. Like, yeah, they're instituting work at home stuff. And we work right by LAX too, which is such a super bummer because it's like, oh god, we're right there by like the people who are
Oh,
traveling.
yeah.
We're like right on that strip in El Segundo where everybody goes right
Comes and
there.
goes, yeah.
All the hotels, all the restaurants, it's all right there. And so they're considering doing the next 2 weeks work from home for
Yeah.
us as well. And so, you know, you look at that and you think, okay, like, WonderCon released their map, their show floor map, and we're on it, and it's prominent, and it's super fun and super cool, and we had such grand plans for it. We all still want to go, but, like, it's one of those things where it's a super bummer, but we might not.
Yeah, it's not like
And it's
it's
only
not like
because
they want to pull out.
we don't want to pull out, yeah, but it's like if we only have half the staff and we have no merch, we're gonna be forced to pull out. Like, why are we wasting all that money?
Yeah.
You know, it's just we got to cancel hotels, we have to cancel flights, we have to like, you know, it's like it's such a pain in the ass to cancel, guys. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Yeah,
and like
it's
Chris
not
was saying,
easy.
you have to do it a month prior,
ahead.
or you don't get any of your money back. That's why Emerald City Comic Con is postponing versus canceling because nobody can refund all that.
Right.
They have to just move it. And it's a bold move, especially to move it to the summertime because there are so many conventions during that time. Personally, I would have moved it to like the fall,
yeah.
maybe even like November, because that's after like the big rush and people would do that.
But then if they held it again in April, it'd be really
Yeah,
super
that
close
would be
together.
close. Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
either
I
way,
mean,
it's just
ooh.
But my favorite, and I was on somebody's post today in this thread because it's just so funny to me. These people that are going crazy for toilet paper, because that's what I'm seeing all over the internet,
Yeah.
are people losing their effing minds, getting as much toilet paper as possible.
Which I find offensive personally because I actually ran out of toilet paper and there was a damn shortage. And I was like, but I actually need it. But I had one roll and I didn't realize it until I opened my cupboard and I'm like, oh crap.
But like when you look at these, I would understand if you're overstocking on everything, right?
Mhm.
Like that, bottled water, canned foods, like pasta, like whatever. But these people, it's just fucking toilet paper, and it's like, are you gonna save the world by wiping your bum? Like what?
Apparently they're expecting diarrhea.
Yeah, apparently.
I don't know.
Like they're like apocalypse
Which, by the
diarrhea.
way, it's like, I think it's like a fever with like a sore throat and a
Yeah.
cough that can turn into pneumonia.
Yeah.
Nothing about diarrhea. So
Oh,
I don't
Jen
know what's
Clever's here.
happening.
Hi, Jen. Love you. But yeah, because I can't stop. I'm like, y'all are gonna be the first to die in a zombie apocalypse. I'm sorry. Like, because your whole thing is like toilet paper. That's your go-to. Is toilet paper.
But I also have to say, like, okay, so I see that the fans are blaming the big companies for pulling out, and I see that like artists, alley people who need to make a living, by the way.
Oh
which
yeah,
this is a hit to them. They're
Honestly,
small businesses.
it's the small businesses and
That's
it's
who's
the
taking the
artists
hit.
that are taking the biggest hit. And like with Aftershock Comics, that's what we were dealing with this week. Is we didn't have a presence there, but we had a lot of our creatives there to promote their newest books with us. And so that has become the whole huge thing because now they have to reroute all their shipments. Now they have to do
It's
like
a big
it's
pain,
huge,
and people don't know what to do. But I find it kind of crazy that like that there's blame going on because they're blaming the fans because Emerald City Comic Con offered a refund to fans who are going, and apparently that was like the death knell because they must have gotten a whole slew of people and then they're like, yeah, we're postponing it, we've gotten a lot of refunds.
Yeah.
So you've got the small press people blaming the fans, and you have the fans blaming the companies. I'm like, this is no one's fault. None of this, everyone is affected by this. And also the con, you can't blame the con because they're talking to health officials, they're talking to the tourism board, they're talking to other people and trying to figure out what they should do. So they're listening to officials on this.
And don't forget also, this is happening in Seattle, which is a huge international hub for gaming. For like, so many people travel through Seattle already. To then add a convention on top of that, and yeah, it's very scary for the bigger cons like San Diego and all that kind of stuff. If and when this can even be contained, you know, by that point, who knows?
Who knows? That's like such a variable that we can't even predict.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's tough because like when you work for big companies that are at like WonderCon San Diego, like yeah, she might have to pull out, but she's not going to know that until next week because they need a full month. So for San Diego, I think it's going to be the same thing. We're not really going to be sure until like May, June what's going on with that. So everybody's just settle down. Don't be too reactive.
And also like, and I sit there and I have against my will almost. I've like, my fingers have led themselves to the keyboard to get involved in these discussions.
Why would you do that?
That's how, and like, I'll tell you, I've been quiet during all of the election stuff. Politics
That is her
has,
line.
I know, has not even gotten me to post. Like, I've seen some stuff that's made me angry, but I have literally been like, nope, it's the internet. This, for some reason, because I work personally, like, in an industry, I'm just like, you know what? No. So, oh, look, it's Meta Studios. Who knows? I don't know if that's Paul or if that's someone else from Meta Studios.
Hi. But yeah, and it is also interesting how it is going to be changing the movies right now, because like we mentioned earlier, the latest James Bond movie has been postponed until November to open, because that was supposed to open right actually at WonderCon weekend of April 8th and 9th.
Really?
Yeah, so what's interesting about that is it's really showing how much the Chinese market is actually imperative to big budget films. It's the same thing that happened with Deadpool 2. That's why they did the PG-13 version. There's several movies that have had to shift completely to be able to balance that market. And I'm really interested to see how it goes. Honestly, like, I'm glad that it got postponed, because between like having WonderCon and then the Diamond Summit and MegaCon right afterwards, I was like, it's gonna be weeks before I can see that movie in theater. But now it's like, I think it's right around Thanksgiving now, which honestly is a better weekend anyways.
Yeah.
But if you hear a little jingling, that was the Lola bug.
And the whole South by Southwest thing, okay,
Then there's that one.
Freaked out. They were just like, what's this going to mean for the industry? How's Austin, Texas going to recover from this?
Like, and possibly.
And I was like, okay.
The biggest cities in
everyone
the US
needs
survive.
to like dial it back a notch, because it's literally, I get it, like, people count on these things for income.
Yeah.
But also, I was just like, the whole ecosystem of Austin, Texas is not going to fall apart because they had to cancel South by Southwest. I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's
like, everyone needs to calm.
They'll be okay. You know, to me, the most interesting thing about this whole awful debacle of the coronavirus is it's really showing me what it would have been like in the Middle Ages when like the Black Plague was going on and they had the internet. Like, I feel like that's what's happening right now, is we're just seeing like how different like people like have to react now that we have the internet and people can spread so many dumb ideas.
I think the worst thing you can do, by the way, okay, this is like, I'm going to totally call him out on this because I don't care, but Rob Liefeld, oh my God, has been driving me absolutely bonkers. He posted a photo, guys, of like, I don't understand, like, first of all, he announced a month ago that he was not doing any shows in 2020, okay? So he's already not allowed to make comments about any shows,
just like,
okay? Because right now you're not going to any of them. You're not canceling, you're not doing, you have no plans on going.
Yeah.
And he posted a picture of like a restaurant that him and his wife went to, okay, that was filled with people. And then he posted a basketball game where everyone was at the basketball game. There were no empty seats. And so he was like, everything's fine, and the media's hyping things up, and he just like goes on and on. And I sit there and I go, when you go to a restaurant, you're not shaking hands and hugging with 100 people a day that come through your booth, okay? You're not talking to people this close to you as they lean over to look at your artwork and everything else. Like, you're not doing that at a restaurant. You're not doing that watching a basketball game in the stadium, okay? You literally,
and also,
it's like so different. It's like apples and oranges.
Yeah, and also when you're on a plane, like, yeah, you can like make
That's
sure not to
recycled
touch
air.
anybody, but that's recycled air. Like
Yeah.
you're just literally sitting in a hot box of just germs. Like no. Oh, Rob.
I know. I was just like, oh my god, don't make me have to confront a blindfold.
I will
lasted
do it.
literally 12 years of being
I will
president.
do
and
it.
I'm like, no, please don't do this to me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and so Pierre also brought up that reminds him of the movie Contagion.
Oh yeah.
But what's funny
Oh,
is that
yeah.
like they actually somebody
Is
just
it like
posted.
Gwyneth Paltrow
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Matt Damon, I
Yes,
think?
that is.
Yeah.
Yes, somebody actually posted and did a whole article that like that movie has been watched so many times since the coronavirus has been like going on.
It has.
It
Yeah.
has. Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's guys, and it's really hard because sometimes I
Let people be cautious.
Yeah,
let people do what they want.
let people be cautious, but like, and for me, I go back and forth because like these
Also,
type of situations are
you
much
have like
easier.
the weakest immune system of all. Like if I had like she's supposed to be at my booth, by the way, at WonderCon,
I'll die.
and I'm like,
I mean, like technically, I'm
am-
wearing gloves, so that's fine.
I'm worried.
I'll be
I'm
wearing
worried.
plastic gloves under my gloves,
Yes,
just
and
to be
then
like super safe.
Cue some like sweaty nerd coming up to you and sneezing in your face. Like it just, I see it, and then me squirting Rudan's face with antibacterial.
Yeah,
or
even
like
though,
my Lysol.
yeah. And it's like, it's so tricky too, because there's that whole debate that everybody's like, well, technically, like, antibacterial stuff doesn't work on viruses, but the amount of alcohol that's in that stuff, it'll help a bit. Like,
Which-
just
oh my
let
gosh.
people use it.
Did you hear about how someone was like, if you drink a sip of water every 15 seconds, it'll wash the virus down your throat and your stomach acid will kill it? Literally somebody posted that, and I was like, what is this?
And I swear, probably people are listening to it too.
What is this?
I can't. With humans, you are so dumb. Stop listening to every plebe that posts on the internet.
Oh, but it's from a reputable source.
Ah, God, it makes
Yeah.
you.
And I love, by the way, that Rob said the introverts will inherit the earth.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
absolutely
absolutely
accurate.
true,
Which will be-
absolutely
Which
true.
is so me. Like if I could
Yeah.
just be at
Oh
home
my God.
forever.
Oh,
like,
and I don't know. Nobody can. I can't
Yeah.
touch anybody.
That's how I
Oh.
built up my immune system. I worked from home for 2 years straight
Mhm.
and barely left except to go get groceries and to go to the gym. And I didn't have a cold for 2 years, and now my immune system's great.
Here's the other thing we haven't mentioned that Rob just brought up is the not so low-key racism that's come along with this coronavirus as
yeah.
well. So he said, I'm learning which former Facebook friends are low-key racist, so I guess grateful for the situation relieving me of those
You know,
folks today.
that is a good point since I do
That's-
work at a Korean company
it's
and
so
it's all
messed
Asians.
up.
So here's a story that a coworker told me, by the way,
It's
who
gonna-
literally said that they called an Uber to go somewhere in
No.
K-Town, and then it
I'm
was.
already upset by
But
what's
my
probably gonna
coworker
say.
wasn't Korean; he's Chinese, and so when he got in the car, they were like, "What nationality are you? Are you Korean?" Like because we're all by the airport, by the way,
Mhm.
and so he didn't know if he was a tourist if he just went in, and he responded like, "Well, you know, I'm Chinese," and the
Please don't
guy,
tell him.
and the guy was just like hesitant to drive him to where he wanted to
Fucking
go.
hell.
But because it was only 10 minutes away, he agreed to do it. And it was just, like, he told me this story, and he was like, I think I'm going to lie. He's like, I'm just going to start lying.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. And like I've also been seeing some friends post to like rally people to like bring some cash and go to these Chinese restaurants that have been like,
Except cash carries the virus.
well, just you know what I mean. Like, damn it, Korea. You know what I meant.
Which,
To
by
go
the way,
pay.
another funny meme of like, hey, cash carries the virus, so you should gather up like cash, put
Send
in
it
the
to
bag,
me.
and just put it on your front doorstep. Let me know where you live. I'll take care of it for you and
Yeah.
dispose of it properly.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of bits about
Mhm.
that too. But
That's
God,
right.
it's you know what's really. I was saying this to Chris like when she first arrived. I was like, since 2016, it feels like every year. It's like, we're like, this is going to be the year. It's going to be okay. And then
Mhm.
something worse happens. Something more ridiculous
Yeah.
happens. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, somehow, it's turned into racism. Like, every time. It's just turned into racism.
Very
and you're like,
unexpectedly.
what? How? Like, it's incredible to me that people can turn a virus, a very scary, basically plague, and turn it into something racist. What is wrong with all of you?
Humans, I'm telling you.
Humans, you're the worst.
Okay, we have 5 minutes left, roughly. I say that we should end it on a positive note. Do you have a nerd rave?
I have I mean, it's the same rave as it's been for the last few weeks.
Picard.
Picard is so
How did
good.
I know?
It's so good, guys. You have to watch the show. It is so good. It gives me. I feel to me it is the first time that a geek pop culture movie, TV show, anything like that that's a continuation of something from a long time ago, from whenever, has actually done it right. Like, and of course it's probably a huge help that you have. I'll just call him Jean-Luc Picard, Sir Patrick Stewart as a producer, and you have, oh no, I'm blanking on Riker's real name, but he's directing and he's doing stuff on it. Like, there's just so much heart in it. There's so much perfect references, but it's not The Next Generation. Like, it's definitely like jump forward in time, and I just love it as a true Trekkie of every it's so good. So I highly suggest it. It brings you to tears. The acting is incredible.
Nice.
And like
I
Patrick
did want
Stewart.
to see it, actually. I really did.
In this one of the last episodes, Jean-Luc has like such a Jean-Luc Picard speech, and you're just, oh, he's so good, so good. So yes, that is my rave of the week. There's been a lot of other good stuff going on, but yeah.
So
that would be my rave.
I watched a movie last night that was surprisingly good. It was called Spencer Confidential, and it's with Mark Wahlberg and Alan Arkin.
I'm sorry, what was it called?
Spencer Confidential. It's on Netflix, guys, and it is part of the beginning of a series, I believe. This is a movie, and I'm sure there'll be other movies, because it was. I don't know why it wasn't released in theaters, because on Netflix, like, you watch a movie and you're like, it was okay. Yeah. Like, and it's, I've never seen something that's been so quality. Like, I would 100% have gone and seen that in the movie theater. Like, it was that good. Mark Wahlberg, and it's directed by Peter Berg.
Oh.
And, like, it just worked on every single level. It was a fantastic action movie. And it's Mark Wahlberg, who plays a cop who gets put in prison for 5 years for assaulting another cop who is dirty. And when he gets out, it's a chain of events that happens after that, because the guy that he assaulted gets murdered, like right when he gets out.
Oof.
So, yeah.
Goodness.
And it is based on a series of books by Robert Parker, who has like hundreds of books out. But honestly, like, Mark Wahlberg is great in it. Alan Arkin, great, and his girlfriend / wife, Eliza Schlesinger. And she's amazing. It takes place in Boston, so there's great Boston accents.
It's like that Super Bowl commercial. Wicked
Mad. Highly recommend you watch it on Netflix.
Yeah, Rod actually gave a suggestion, because I've been curious what you thought of it, because I saw that you posted you saw it. So Rod says, go watch Onward. I cried the whole time and seeing it more times this weekend.
Yep.
He said, I love the rare brother boys coming of age fairy tale movies. I agree. Like, there's something about like that kind of like brotherly like thing that
I'm definitely gonna go see it.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, guys.
Also, I just want last one.
Yes.
Go support my Kickstarter.
Yes.
Cthulhu is hard to spell, the terrible twos. So the first 2 volumes are both available on the Kickstarter. First one I wrote the foreword to. Second one I edited. It's got amazing people in it. Paul Jenkins, Chris Gossett, Ray Anthony Height, Marcus Perry, Tony Donnelly. Like, everybody that I personally love is now in this anthology. CthulhuIsHardToSpell.com is where you go to. It links to the Kickstarter.
Yes, we'll put links in both the comments of the video, so that way you can do that. It's really great, and it's a lot of great people on it. So please support your local comic book people.
Yes, support your local comic book creators. Half of them were supposed to go to Emerald City Comic Con, so if you want to support them,
they need some help. They just lost a lot of money and time and all that. So yes. So guys, thank you again for joining. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Wash your hands. Don't be racist. Wash your hands. That's all.
All right. See you guys later.
Yeah, we'll see you later. Bye, guys.